Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, my name is Sarah. I'm a certified life and business coach, and I help artists, creatives, and spiritual entrepreneurs build the subscribe. That would help me out a lot. Just click that little button. Okay, so I am going live every day in January. This is day 2 of daily drops in January. And what I want to talk about today is that your past does not predict your future. And this is really important. There may be part of you that's like, duh, of course not. I know that. But I talk to people all the time. I have this, you have this, we all have this, where we offhandedly go, maybe it's something like, well, I want to start saving money, but I've always been really bad at saving. So, what we're saying is there's something I want to do, but because of my experience doing this thing in the past, I've already decided this will not work for me. And that's the reason that I'm not going to try, or that I've already decided this is going to be really hard and it's going to be an uphill battle. And we do that with tons of things. I want to pursue singing, but when I was in second grade, I sang on stage and someone made fun of me, and now I don't sing in public, right? We are constantly protecting ourselves from doing things that we might really want to do, or things that we may feel would benefit us based on past experiences. And in some ways, this makes perfect sense. It also makes sense because our brain's kind of primary function is to look for danger. Our brain all day long is coming up with ways to keep us safe. And that is evolutionary and adaptive, and it totally makes sense, but it doesn't actually help us a lot of the time. So, evolutionarily, if we're like, oh, we don't go over that ridge because there's mountain lions there. And if we go there, we'll get eaten. That makes sense. It's good to remember where danger is. But now being like, oh, I'm not going to open a savings account because that's where danger is, that doesn't actually make sense. It makes emotional sense. It's not true and it's not logical. As I like to say, it's emotionally true. So it's important to catch when we are having these feelings of predictive failure based on past experiences. And this is especially relevant right now at the top of the year, when so many of us are either making goals or considering making goals or setting intentions or thinking about, what do I want to accomplish in this new calendar year of my life? What are the things that I hope to get done this year? And how do I want to make sure those things happen? And it can be easy to get, what's the word I want to use? To stop examining things that we believe are true about ourselves. There's somebody who says, like, beliefs are thoughts that you think over and over again. But I think what's truer is a belief is a thought you don't think about anymore. You just believe it, right? I believe the sky is blue. I believe when I inhale, I'm going to take oxygen in. I believe that people are going to stop at red lights. Lots of accidents are caused because we believe things are going to go a certain way, and sometimes they don't. So beliefs are things we kind of stop examining and we take them for granted and we assume that they are always true. And sometimes it's a little dangerous for us to believe certain things about ourselves, like, because I behaved this way in the past, this is how I am. I'm going to do another video in this series about this, the idea this is just how I am. So, what can we do instead? For one thing, we can notice when we hear ourselves saying, I want to do X, but in the past, I think it won't work because in the past. I think it won't work because I did that once. I want to do this, but I'm scared because, and we jump back to a past experience. Now, thing number one is there may be some unresolved stuff in there for you about what happened last time. Maybe you did have a bad experience or even a traumatic experience when you tried to do something, and it's still in your nervous system, it's still being carried in your body, you're still reacting to it on a somatic level as present danger. And so I would never suggest you should try to push through that. I think that somatic interventions are the only way to deal with those things. And a somatic intervention could be something like tapping, it could be something like breath work, it could be EMDR, it could be somatic experiencing. There are a lot of different somatic interventions you can use. But when we're talking about a traumatic experience, which I would define as too much too soon, anything that happened that was so big that you're so big to you that your body and your mind did not have the tools to process it in the moment it happened. It's just hanging out in your body, waiting for you to have the tools and the time to process it. And one of the ways you can tell if that's happening is if you have a physiological reaction to the thought of taking the action. So if the thought of singing again makes your throat get tight and you start breathing fast, you feel tears start in your eyes, your stomach gets tight, that's something you're going to want to go in and resource physically so that you can show your body, I am now an adult. This is a safe thing for me to do. I'm not going to be hurt if I try to sing on stage. I may still be nervous, but I don't have to physiologically respond as though there are mountain lions. So if that's what's happening, it is important to do whatever it is that you need to do to create the feeling of safety in your body that you need to create in order to move forward. You don't want to just try to push through and do it while feeling unsafe, or you could, but that's not usually what I'd recommend. I'm not a big fan of forcing anything, but if we can cultivate and curate the sense of safety required for you to take the next step, we should definitely do that because you deserve to have what you want. If it's not something where you're responding like that physiologically, but you are having a reaction to it and you're like, oh, I don't think I can, maybe this is a time to just get out the journal and start writing. When I tried to do this before, here's what happened, right? How you felt about what happened, but just what happened. Names, dates, times, figures, the facts of the situation, and then go through and write, how do I feel about these facts? What is the story I tell myself about this situation? What do I make this situation mean? What is another interpretation of this situation? When I look at this interpretation, how do I feel about this situation? And see if you can bring yourself to a point of some relief, because a lot of the time, it may not even be the situation that happened that we're holding on to. It is a story we're telling ourselves. It's what we're making that situation mean about us and the feelings that we're having as a result of telling ourselves that unhelpful story. All of this are things that you can do when? Right now, in the present. This is the present, the only time that predicts the future, not your past, the present. In the present is the only time that you can take the actions and the steps required to change your future outcomes. So if in the present, what you're doing is telling yourself the story of what went wrong in the past and the story that because this thing went poorly in the past, it will go poorly in the future. And therefore, you are not taking actions to change your future outcomes and you're behaving the same way you've been behaving, it is likely that your future results will be more of what is happening right now. And if you are not 100% happy with what's happening right now, then now is the time to start doing something different. And it doesn't really matter what that something is. That something could be as simple as you're here watching this video and maybe having some thoughts and some feelings and some little light bulbs and some, okay, maybe there are some ways that I hold myself back with old stories. Maybe there is something I could do different. Something you can do today is take out your journal and start writing down, what's the thing I want? What is the reason I'm telling myself that I can't have it based on past experiences? And then take yourself through that exercise I said. Write down what happened. Write down what you're telling yourself about what happened. Write down how you feel about it. Write down some potential reframes. That's an action that you can take in the present, a first great step to starting to create some new outcomes for yourself. You can start with saying, okay, well, if I wasn't my past self, and I could be anybody in the future. I could be a different kind of person. What kind of person would I need to be to have those results? And what would that kind of person do on a day-to-day basis? And you can make a list and you can start doing some of the things on that list. Another great technique for this is to ask yourself, if I knew with 100% certainty that I would be successful at this thing that I want to do, 100% certainty, it already worked, it's already done. I know, like I know, like I know that this is going to work for me. If you knew 100% that it was going to work, what would you do? What steps would you take? And then write that down. How would you be moving differently? Would you be getting help? Would you be getting support? Would you be opening that savings account? What would you do differently if you knew with 100% certainty that it was going to work out the way you wanted it to? Once you write those steps down, you've pretty much written out the list of how to get to your goal. So if in the present you start doing things on that list, at least some of them, and you keep doing that every day, because every day it will become it will stop being the future and start being the present. Every day you get up, you look at that list and you say, today in the present, here's one action I'm going to take to keep moving toward my goal. Like I know it will be 100% guaranteed to come together the way that I want it to. If you keep doing that every day, there is a very strong chance that in the future, you will have reached the outcome that you wanted, or at least gotten yourself a lot closer to it than you will by staying trapped in the story that because it didn't work in the past, it's not going to work in the future. So, your future is not predicted by your past, it is predicted by your present. And that is a gift. So, my question to you is, what can you do right now today to take some different actions toward making the thing that you want come true for you? I would love for you to let me know in the comments, what is the thing that you tell yourself, I'm probably not going to be able to do this because it went wrong in the past? And let me know if this was helpful for you. Let me know what steps you're going to take to get that outcome that you're looking for in the future so that I can support you and cheer you on. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying this series. I hope you come hang out with me every day for the month of January. While I'm here, as I'm recording this, it is January 2nd. It's still very early in the new year. I have a free gift for you in the show notes. It is a free Elemental annual review and planning journal. So one of my primary ways that I work is through the Elemental Entrepreneurship Framework. You can go watch the video that is called What is Elemental Entrepreneurship and How Does It Help You Build Your Business, and check that out. The elemental framework is all broken down in that video, and that is the framework that I use with all of my clients. It's the framework I use in my business, and it is the framework that you will use in this free journal. It'll go element by element through reviewing everything you did in your business last year and setting intentions for everything that you want to do in the year ahead. That is free for you. You can grab it right now below. And if you are watching this on January 2nd or January 3rd, the doors are open right now to my business coaching membership, the Elemental Entrepreneurship Coven, and we are running an insane sale on that for new members for the new year. I will put that link in the show notes as well. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow.